all those capsules we formulated, like 10 hours prayers, we formulated all those capsules when we understood the culture that was established among the apostles in the book of Acts. As you travel with the spirit of grace and supplications, little bits of your map, because Abraham is a prototype of what God wants to do in the life of every one of us. So if Abraham journeyed out of his context, journeyed out of his village in search of a place where he will receive an inheritance, you are also in transit. But you see, whether or not you arrive at the location is dependent on if you have illumination coming from the lamp of intercession. When we call people for 10-hour prayers, we call people for 5-hour prayers, they say, human beings praying for 10 hours? But you know what? All those capsules we formulated, like 10 hours prayers, we formulated all those capsules when we understood the culture that was established among the apostles in the book of Acts. So what we want to do is to do the same things that they did so that we can enter into the same economies of grace that powered their lives. So we came up with a product called 10 hours, 10-hour prayers. That is already a threat for a man of the flesh. 10 hours? The flesh is already, because the flesh does not like prayer. Take the flesh to Sun City in South Africa with vanilla ice cream. You will find people running on the beach without anything pursuing them. Confront the flesh with prayer. In fact, they will run naked. Confront the flesh with prayer, and you will see the flesh will be weakened. You see, I found out in my walk with God that the things that the flesh likes, the Holy Ghost does not like. And the thing that the Holy Ghost likes, the flesh does not like. So you need to get used to the things the Holy Ghost likes and stay there. It will weaken and paralyze your flesh, and your flesh will no longer have the authority to suggest any line of action to you forever. So we came up with this product, 10 hours. Most people don't know the benefit of staying in God's presence and exercising your spirit for long. I found out we were taught prayer, we were not taught long prayers. And I am a researcher, and I can tell you with authority that there are dimensions of God you will never touch until you tune your spirit to pray for long. And when you pray for long, you cannot succeed except you are praying with the energy that comes from the Spirit of God. So the spirit of grace and supplication comes upon your life to galvanize you for a trip in the Holy Ghost. There are times where you will need to pray for long in order for you to see something. Then the lamp will show you parts of your map. The reason why many of you are stuck is that you did not have the impetus to travel in prayer sufficiently beyond your current location of civilization. And because of that, the lamp could not unveil to you the next phase of the journey. So you are stuck in transit. Your advancement has been truncated. Not because God doesn't want to supply, not because God doesn't have all sufficiency to make available to you, but you were not willing to operate under the influence of the spirit of grace and supplication. I traveled in prayer. I did 18 hours for 3 days. I'm talking about 17 years ago. And in 17 years ago, I saw that we have a TV station. When I said it to the people around that time, they felt I was lunatic. You see, it was a lamp that gave me the illumination that occasioned my sighting of the station. When the time came for it to come, but we documented it, even though people didn't believe in it, we documented it. When the time came for the station, I hope you know we're on TV now. We're on TV in many people's houses across Africa and the Middle East, as I'm talking now. You will never know the pathway that you are supposed to journey in order for you to lay hold on your inheritance. Every son of Abraham cannot fulfill his destiny at home. He must travel. Yeah. Oh my God. Are you with me? That is a pattern that was established in the life of Abraham. And the place you are traveling to doesn't have a map. Everyone will need to use the instrumentality of the spirit of supplication and the spirit of grace in order to enter into bits and pieces of that map, so that you are keeping step with the Holy Ghost and navigating to the terminus where you will lay hold on your inheritance. If at any point in time that journey truncates and you come under the cloud of confusion, confusion is not supposed to be a Christian experience. Confusion. Please preach for me. Confusion is not supposed to be the experience of a Christian. The moment you come under the cloud of confusion, it's an indication of the fact that you have lost alignment, lost touch with the spirit of grace and supplication. Embedded in that enablement is the ability to travel to places in the spirit. As astronauts explore space, that's how we are called to explore God. And when you begin to explore God, He begins to show you parts of the map that has to do with your own unique journey under the auspices of the Holy Ghost. And for me, part of the map was to be a global missionary. But I never knew, 24 years ago, I never knew that I was going to be preaching from nation to nation. Never knew. I knew I was going to be a preacher, and I was looking forward to being a local champion. You see, you will adopt an insufficient understanding of your calling if you don't come under this illumination to show you don't talk too much. In fact, don't even write books. Don't write a book before you see the full scope of your journey. That book, in 10 years, will be a lie. No, don't write. You will need to record the book back when you enter into the fullness, because the book will look like darkness when you journey accurately for another 10 years. I see people going to the printers early. They are knocking the doors of the printers. Meanwhile, they have not yet taken root in the navigation. Every son of the kingdom of God is going to walk through pathways in the spirit under the influence of the grace of the spirit of grace and supplication, in order for him to be able to lay hold of his inheritance.